So when we last left off, there was a few events after each of you had returned to your cells following the questioning upon your arrival underneath the courts in the holding cells. Up to this point, all the choices that you've made and everything that you've decided since leaving the ship have led you to this point. As each of you has an uncomfortable night in bed, it's cold, it's difficult to get any good rest. You begin to have a very strange dream. Although, I mean, there's nothing strange about it at first. When you wake
Like
up,
a
Hmm?
collective dream that we all had?
Well, you, as you sleep, this is your dream.
My dream or Joe's dream?
Both of you.
Is it like Inception?
I don't even know how to answer that. Leonardo DiCaprio and Tom Hardy are not featured in your dream. Let me put it that way.
Oh, okay.
So immediately nothing strikes you as odd. I mean, you wake up and you're in your bed and you're in your normal chamber. You see the fine cotton sheets that normally adorn you. You look around your room, the familiar
Fine cotton
setting.
sheets
Yes.
in jail.
As you look around the familiar setting, your dresser, the carpet, the door, which you prefer to keep closed because you don't really like a lot of visitors. There's your desk with your papers that, well, for lack of a better term, you've been putting off dealing with because you'd rather get some shut-eye. What do you do?
What?
Are you sure you loaded up the right campaign?
Yep.
Who
You've
is
just
this
awoken in your
Andrew
room.
guy?
Are we aware this is a dream? Or is this a...
Make an intelligence check.
Oh goodness, I have to open my thingy.
Did I also do that?
Yes.
Are we having this dream together, or are we having this dream separately?
That is not like Inception, so it's...
Your thoughts are your own, and currently your thoughts are that of one individual inhabiting the body that belongs here.
Oh, so it's gonna be like the two-headed ogre?
We have to do an intelligence... Yeah, I'm so smart.
Oh, God.
Joe, you stupid.
The disorienting experience is difficult to make sense of. You distinctly remember going to sleep in the cots in the holding cells, and yet you've woken up and you're where you belong, in your chamber, in the castle. And it's odd trying to find some kind of connection between the two.
Do I know what castle?
Yes.
I'm gonna go find my wife.
There is a knock at the door. It's not a very loud knock, it's kind of quiet and meek.
I open my door.
The door
Wife.
opens, and there is a servant there that is suddenly surprised. Wasn't quite expecting who was behind the door. I'm sorry, sir. Breakfast? And meekly holds out a tray with a bit of food and some tea.
Is Joe doing the same thing I am?
Well, what are you doing right now?
I'm gonna take the tray and close the door on her face and start eating.
All right. You take the door. You take the tray of food with one hand. You deftly pick up this tray that this much smaller.
Look, it's the Andrew guy again. Am I going crazy? Does anybody else see Andrew?
I see Andrew.
Who's Andrew?
Andrew's a friend of mine.
It's the aliens! Come for me!
So you, with your one large hand, you take the tray from this, this meek servant girl. It's pick it up deftly, and you slam the door in her face. You say nothing, just immediately take this tray, without a hint of gratitude. Door shuts in her face, and you
Oh,
can
change
vaguely
my-
make out through the thick wood the sound of footsteps quickly moving away from the door down the hall.
I'm a little bit
Did you say
scared
that
right now.
because of the microphone?
I'm a little bit very scared right now.
Were you talking about the microphone when you said it's the aliens?
Yeah?
What microphone? Did I go robot again?
No, there's a fucking, like, sound coming from the D20 window.
What?
It sounded like aliens.
It sounds like fucking aliens! I thought you were playing music!
I don't hear anything.
What the fuck?
It's Andrew G's microphone.
Oh no, really?
That was...
Sorry, that was an unintended side effect.
That was
I actually
Oh, we
I
got-
can't hear a mic.
the greatest thing that's ever happened.
Go to the settings page.
The settings page.
On the settings tab, rather, on the far right.
Right.
Receive voice. I think his webcam is on idly.
I gotta go to Twilio, that's it.
Oh, hello. There's a person there.
Wait, really?
Yeah.
Did he mean to join TeamSpeak?
He should be joining TeamSpeak, yes.
We lock the channel.
Hang on, just give me a second here.
Who are you talking?
What the fuck?
Oh, your microphone's on.
I know. It was a joke.
I should load up my webcam.
Oh my god, that's funny.
It's weird. I'm set to I want to receive video and voice, but I don't hear anything through the website. I really have no explanation
I
for
think he
it.
stopped now. I don't
Yeah,
hear
he
it anymore
did.
either.
He stopped
Okay,
it.
good. So what does this noise sound like?
Like high-pitched, whistling electronic static.
Okay then.
It's like generic alien UFO flying overhead noise. I thought you were playing it because I said in chat it's the fucking pod people again.
User joined
No,
your
that was
channel.
just a pure coincidence. Hey, Andrew.
Hello.
It's him. He's come for me.
All right, so, Andrew, you're basically jumping in, but I will give you the brief synopsis of what's happened since the start of the session.
Hey.
So, basically, everyone has gone to bed, and despite the
Your
cold
channel is
discomfort of the night,
edited.
cool. Despite the cold discomfort of the night, as you awoke, you are in your normal chamber, and Everything around you is as it should be. Your dresser, your desk with all your papers, your bed. It's pretty big, about a queen-size bed. Very nice sheets,
Queen
red carpet
size.
surrounding the whole thing. And upon deciding what to do next, there was a knock at the door, and a meek servant girl stood there. And you deftly picked up the breakfast that she had offered and slammed the door in her face without saying a word of thanks or any kind of gratitude. And you are now standing within your chamber, holding your tray of breakfast.
I'm gonna attempt to step on my foot.
You successfully step on your own foot. It hurts a bit.
I can move my body.
You say to the empty chamber in front of you.
I'm gonna eat the food.
You set the tray down and begin eating.
This is gonna become very impractical very fast.
What food's on the tray?
On the tray is a plate of greenery, something akin to spinach, with a few slices of grilled fish and some root vegetables and fruits, and a small pot of tea with 1 cup. It's the exact tea that you have every morning before you begin your work.
What work?
You remember your duties are seeing towards the operations of the Eye of Vigil. There is another knock at your chamber door, louder this time.
Quick meta question.
Yeah.
Does Pedwin know what that is? Eye of Vigil?
No, none of you know what that is.
I'm gonna go back to bed. I've had my meal.
I'm gonna open the door.
Are we allowed to do
After
different
struggling-
things?
How does this work?
After struggling with the compulsion to catch about 10 more minutes of sleep, you realize, no, there's work to be done. Can't go back to bed just yet.
My
You
body,
open the
bitch.
door. And standing there is your cousin. He says, "Oh, have you finished already? Come on, there's a big day, cousin."
Cousin, let's go bowling.
He does reach in and grab you by the shoulder and pull you forward. Now, I do hate to tear you from your terribly important work, but this is an important celebration. It's not every day that our king has a son.
Hmm.
As you're walking down the hallways, you can't help but take in the stonework and all the architecture that's around you. It's a strange mixture of organic and man-made. The floors are normal stonework, but the pillars themselves have become large, thick, polished, and stained cylinders that directly support the ceiling above you. There are tapestries of all sorts of symbols that you recognize as belonging to different clans and districts within various cities. As you are moving down this hallway, your footsteps muffled by the carpets beneath you, you see servants going to and fro, nobles in their finery with all their entourage moving back and forth through the corridors, and it generally seems like there's an air of activity. A servant that's dressed in a more fine uniform than the one that brought breakfast to your door, he walks up to you specifically. He bows his head graciously and says, "Sir, there is a meeting scheduled with the Dwarven Prince, Prince Baldurk." And before you can respond to this messenger, your cousin, he brushes him aside deftly. He's like, "We have no time for petty politics. Tell Balthazar we will meet him in the afternoon, after the ceremony." And once again pulls you, before you can really get a word in edgewise, in the direction of the Grand Hall. As you arrive in the Grand Hall, you see the heads of many of the noble houses. You see prominent members of the High Council and other city councils. You've seen them many times before at all the various meetings that you're forced to attend to as the head of your organization. And they seem to just be generally chattering amongst themselves. Servants move around with hors d'oeuvres and tea on trays, the same kind of tray that was brought to you, a very fine silver platter. As you look around, you can see all the tapestries now bear just the singular banner that you have come to associate with the King's Court. It is a small earthen mound which then from which bursts a large golden tree, its branches stretching far and wide in a broad kind of oblong shape. Yes?
Do I recognize any of this? Does Pedwin recognize any of this? I'm talking specifically in terms of date. When would these things be dated recently, or would these things be dated many, many years ago?
You don't get a sense, Pedwin does not get a sense of the time that this is occurring, but he does understand that these are all unfamiliar settings and unfamiliar people, yet you still know them. You've worked with them your whole life. They helped to build the kingdom that you're a part of. They've helped you rise to the head of your organization. These are people that you've known for years and years, and yet they're strangers.
Does not Pedwin me know where in the world I am?
Oh, yes, the person whose eyes you've been seeing through knows exactly where you are. You're in the capital city, in the kingdom of Sudaria.
Does Pedwin know where that is?
No.
Okay.
The name does sound vaguely familiar to Mindardus. A relic of a history lesson from a long, long time ago. It's a name that comes out of a time before, or sorry, no, just after he arrived on the island he was seeking when he left after what happened to his family. There is a trumpet that blares, and out of one of the side doors, the double doors are flung open, and there stands an elf and a human. And the elf is a male dressed in robes of red and silver. He has dark brown hair, but very bright blue piercing eyes. And his features are relatively narrow, as most elves are. His ears make a very, very noticeable impression on you, as they always do, because they just stick so far out the sides of his head. In all of his portraits, they can't help but have to, be a little bit more conservative with the way that they paint his ears, because he's got huge ears for an elf. Behind him, his wife holds a bundle in her arms, and you've been expecting this for quite some time, but this is the formal announcement.
Wait, so the elf is the king?
Oh, it's
The
the,
elf is the
queen.
king. No, the human is the queen.
Human is the queen, and
So the human's the king, the elf's the queen. Got it.
Sort of.
am I an elf? Is not
Of course
Pedwin
you
the
are.
elf? Okay.
Am I an elf?
Of course you are.
We're the same person right now, kind of.
Is it the same dream? So is
This
it
is the dream that you're having.
But is it the same dream as
We're both
Edwin's?
we're both kind of in control at the same time.
This video
As-
game isn't very fun.
As the doors have now flung open, the horns have silenced themselves. The king steps forward and opens his arms wide. A big, beaming smile across his face. Friends, this day has been long in coming. I say, I could barely contain myself before it happened, and now that this day is here, now that my son has been born, I tell you I cannot wait for tomorrow, and I cannot wait for any day after that. As he motions backwards, his wife steps forward to join him, and the two of them join hands. And once again, he turns to address the assembled court. Today is a great day of celebration, and I want everyone here to be as happy as I. No, I want all the people of this kingdom that we have built together. I want them all to share in this joy.
Dibs on the sun.
That sounds ominous.
And so I propose that there
We
will
share
be...
the sun with timeshare programs.
So I propose that on every founding day that we hold festivals, games, competitions, something to bring up the spirit of all of us working together for not what we have now, but what we create and what we leave for the ones that come after us. I am now like so many others on this island who have decided to start our families here after this great voyage that we have all taken. And nothing pleases me more than to see you all here today. At which point he bows, and his wife does a small curtsy. And he begins to move amongst the crowd, speaking to different individuals here and there, before being drawn off by some attendants to address a large assembly of the populace in a different part of the castle. You are amongst maybe 20 guests still in the Great Hall. Again, all of them nobles that you recognize. And they immediately again begin to chatter amongst themselves about, well, everything that's has happened and everything that's going to happen. Your cousin comes up to you again. This time, a lot of the joviality that he had before and a lot of the upbeat nature is kind of been soured a little bit. And he says, I do not know, cousin. What do you think? This tenuous alliance of all the races, it's such an ideal. He is too idealistic. And even if he can manage to keep them all in line, and he puts his arm over your shoulder and gives a wide gesture indicating all the different nobles that are amassed here. Elves, humans, half-elves, dwarves, gnomes, even a dragonborn. As he gestures across the room towards all of them. They swear fealty now, but what about when he is gone? Long-lived though he will be. Should be. Kind of trails off on that last part.
Are you suggesting we kill the king?
What? Of course not. You'd never survive the backlash. No. What I mean is, what of these people when his son takes over? Do you think that all these races can truly ever cooperate without being guided?
Nope. What happened in America?
I've never heard of this, America.
I was joking. I didn't actually say that.
I figured
But
as much.
I did say nope. I agree with him. I don't think they could ever live in peace together.
Well, I suppose time shall tell. At which point you hear a loud banging. And all of you wake up in your cots in the jail that you currently occupy. The vague fragments that you remember from your dream very quickly starting to fade as the very sudden interruption of a guard moving up and down. And Steve-O, you actually, or Big Mo, you actually recognize this guard.
The one that
He's
didn't feed me?
He is the one that that knocked over your food before it could be delivered to you, and he is currently has one of the food pots, and he's just banging his sword against it, just making a racket.
I just glare at him.
As each of you get up, you stretch and look around.
This has been a long rest.
This has been a long rest, so all spells are recharged. Go ahead and make your portent. That's pretty. I suppose pretty average numbers for a portent. I guess you can. Well, I mean, the 16 is not bad.
Yep.
Detect a deja vu. Okay.
Wait, what were you naked?
It was just running commentary that I didn't feel the need to interrupt with my voice.
Oh.
As you look around, you notice that Burnley is kneeling at the side of his bed, holy symbol clasped in between his hands, and he's just moving his arms back and forth, slightly swaying, muttering in prayer.
Do you guys think his icon kind of looks like the guy from South Park who runs the walks?
Who runs the what?
Kitty walk?
The what?
Kitty walk?
Oh, Shitty Walk.
That's what I think of whenever I see his icon.
Is that why you called him Asian Man that one time?
Yep.
Okay, now
It
I
looks like
understand
he's
why.
wearing. It looks like he's wearing traditional Asian. Peppy.
So who's in the cells?
So Burnley, Big Mo, Pedwin, and Flint are all in the cells. And you've all just been woken up by this racket of this jerk of a guard who's just making a racket because he's trying to wake you up.
Did I fit in my bed?
What?
My bed was only 5 feet long.
Things here are not quite to scale.
Oh, I just zoomed out a lot, and it's actually like
It's the
20
scale.
25 feet.
It's Alice in Wonderland now.
Look, if you really want me to, I'll go and change the
Fake.
scale of the room.
No, it's good. I don't think we're gonna battle in here unless that guard
Probably.
keeps banging that pot.
Well, which he is currently doing, yes.
I still
The scale
glare
should be
at him.
about like 0.5 of what it is now. So anything that's 10 feet should be 5, etc.
I'm still
So
gonna
as he-
glare at the guard.
As he moves up and down, he's stopped banging against the pot because one of the other guards has told him to just shut it. But he's just calling out back and forth. He's like, "There's gonna be a trial today. I can't wait. I'm so excited." And as he's
so excited, and I just can't hide it. Sorry.
the guard turns on a heel and seems very confused that you would burst out with excitement. Well, all right, that's the right attitude. He stops off by Burnley's cell. Seeing him hunched or kneeling over in prayer. Your God ain't gonna save you today. If you've done wrong, we'll find out. And with that, he leaves.
What an asshole. Are we just Are we just sitting in the cells now?
Well, you've been woken up. Eventually, an attendant comes down and brings you all your normal serving of breakfast. It's not particularly flavorful, but it hits the basics: some bread and some soup, and just some water. As you all finish up, the same servant comes by and picks up all of the trays and cups and things like that. Just kind of looking into each of the cells at every one of you. A little bit forlorn, but for the most part doesn't say anything and just goes about his work. The more heavily armored man seated at the desk stands up as he hears the sound of footsteps coming down the staircase. Ooh, I'm on the wrong thing here. Okay. And down the stairs comes a different guard than before. I know he looks the same. Trust me, it's a different guard. This one has a beard, whereas the other guy did not.
I don't see a beard.
He has a beard, trust me. And he moves over towards the more heavily armed individual and hands him a slip of paper. The more heavily armed individual, the man that you recognize is been the replacement for the jailer that was attacked when there was the attempted escape. And it appears that in response to that, they've sent down someone a little bit more well-trained to look after the prisoners. He takes a look at this sheet of paper, folds it back up, hands it to the messenger, who then takes it and once again scampers off back up the stairs.
He forgot his beard.
Oh, he's still got the beard. It's actually attached to his face. Okay. I was wondering what the hell that was for a second. I'm like, what did I draw? What did I draw there? Okay. So the jailer gets up and heads over towards Pedwin's cage, your jail cell. And he stands at the top of the small staircase that your cell is kind of fit within. All of your cells are about 5 or so feet below the ground in a small indentation. And there's, well, basically a 5-foot wall, and then the bars come up out of that and form the cell that is around you. It extends upwards and forms a complete cage.
Are there runes preventing me from magicking myself out of here like there were in the last one?
The same incantation was cast over your cell. It's getting refreshed every 8 hours. And the jailer comes up to you and says, "You are wanted for further questioning. Please come along."
You're in trouble.
Well, I can't really well say no, can I?
Well, I suppose you could. Most don't, though. Come along, then. It's just
No.
questionings, and it ain't gonna hurt you.
No. Just kidding, yes.
All right, then.
Just kidding, no.
The
Just kidding,
jailer
yes.
opens the door and says, "You coming or not?"
Well, of course I am. I walk out confidently.
All right, you walk out confidently and step in tow with the jailer.
How many guards are in this room?
There is one at the back. There are two more that are coming down to relieve the jailer.
Damn. Okay.
You were just constantly looking for. All right, there are these two. Apparently, be excellent at keeping in time with each other. So Pedwin and the jailer head upstairs and again past the familiar set of scales, which you see now the scales themselves are actually set upon a hammer, and the scales are perfectly balanced as they sit upon the upturned hammer. As you recognize it because you've passed by this once before when you were being questioned initially. You are taken upstairs past the same portraits, and around the corner, you hear a little bit of muffled noise as if somebody is having a bit of a heated argument behind one of the nearby doors, and you are brought by the jailer to stand outside one of the chambers. And again, you can hear these muffled voices. They're a little louder now. Oh, can you hang on for just a couple minutes?
Sure.
Be right back.
Bye-bye.